Welcome Epic Gamers to F-Zero X. In this video you're probably going to be hearing that quite a lot because, well, it may as well be F-Zero X, it's that similar. But this is an awesome game, I'm playing it a lot, and as a fan of the F-Zero series, I really like the first F-Zero, and F-Zero X was a bit strange. It was a bit strange, it had that very kind of 90s edgy aesthetic, but the game itself was still awesome, I love that game. Still need to play F-Zero GX, that's on my list, but anyway. So, unfortunately, there's no multiplayer, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been really great if they had multiplayer on the demo. Anyway, so let's go into the single player. So we have Grand Prix, which I'm sure you all know what that is by now. Obviously single race, time trial, and practice. Now the practice mode is actually, there's some interesting features in there, which I'll show you in a second. But for now, we are going to go in the Grand Prix mode, and that covers pretty much all of this anyway. So in Grand Prix, we have the Neutron Cup. So we have 5 tracks here, all actually quite distinct. I haven't actually tried the 5th one yet. I've done the first 4, but all of them are still really, really good. Especially Super Cylinder there, just like an F-Zero X. Oh, if you're motion sick, maybe not the best game, but for the rest of us, it's really fun. Now you have standard, expert, and ace pilot difficulties. Obviously, it's like, you know, I guess easy, medium, and hard, but ooh, standard gives me a workout, let alone these two. I'm just gonna go with standard for now, and then obviously you can choose your characters. So I was playing a lot of him, I guess, but I might actually go with her. I'm not sure yet. I want to try and get like a medium build, like kind of a good mix of everything, so I can get used to the game, and then once I know what I'm best at, I can then use like a specific character for a specific race type. I did go with him at first, but I don't really do much of the sliding, so I don't really need that as much. Also, I'll go with her because she's got a slightly higher top speed, and I guess she's just a default character, much like Captain Falcon. Oh, I keep using the back trigger instead of X. So it's X on PlayStation and I think like A on Xbox or whatever it is. Like, I think you can start to see similarities now. There's 30 characters, you know, racers. Yeah, this bit, I was just about to say, that is one of the coolest additions I've seen in this. So there are actually flying segments, similar to like Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing, to control it in 3D space, which I think is a really cool addition. I need to start getting closer up. There we go. So you can also boost, again, much like F-Zero X. There you go. I love these flying segments. Like, sometimes they're a bit difficult, as we'll find in the later stages, but in this bit here, it's pretty fine. Come on, I need to get at least first place. Come on, on the easiest difficulty. There we are. We are almost there to first place, and oh, what final lap? Oh, okay. I wasn't reading the lap counter clearly. So far, again, playing this at 120 Hz, it feels super solid. The frame rate is great. The frame pacing is great. There's like no stutter or gameplay issues whatsoever. Really funny place for me to crash there, but that wasn't the game's fault. That was just me being a big dum-dum. No. Oh, I do not want to be second place. There we go. Awesome. We're in first place there. The rounds are relatively short as well, which is great. Because, like, if a round is too long, that can obviously drag it out and feel like, you know, not great to play, obviously. But if it's too short, then actually that can leave you wanting more. And then you kind of get a bit bored of it because it's happened so quickly. So I think it's a pretty, like, this course obviously is slightly shorter than I would like, but it's still a pretty good balance, especially as it's like the introductory course. And so now we'll go into the next race. So that's a pretty good track just to, you know, get people used to the game, adds a couple of extra core mechanics and stuff. Now this one is where it starts to get more intense. And I can't remember which map in F-Zero it is, but it looks very similar to that. It's kind of annoying that we start you at 30th, like you got to make up 30 places. Also, the soundtrack for this game is really good. Like, I love listening to the soundtrack. There are some points in the soundtrack where I'm a bit more like, oh, I need more oomph, you know, I need more energy considering how, like, high-paced this game is. But to be fair, again, some of the tracks are surprisingly close to F-Zero, some even just straight up sound like it. But I'm so glad somebody made a game like this because F-Zero has been, like, dying. Nintendo just seemingly couldn't care less about it. Hopefully they'll have something on their next system, but especially for this generation, the older generations, they just, anything past GameCube, ironically, they just didn't seem to care. You'd think they'd put one out on the Wii, but nope, they just did not. Interesting how they chose X and not GX, but maybe it was just because, obviously, the simpler visuals makes it a lot easier to run on most hardware. Again, something like this would be absolutely perfect for Steam Deck. I was actually, like, emulating F-Zero on my Steam Deck and stuff, and where it is definitely fun still, don't get me wrong, even with Steam input and everything, it is hard to get, like, a proper 4-player multiplayer going. Whereas on a game like this, obviously, because it's a modern game and supports modern controllers and everything, it is much easier to get a multiplayer game going. And man, if you can get, like, local co-op on this, like 4-player or even 8-player, can you imagine 8-player local co-op? That is actually something that, what's the Sega game? Virtua Racer. On the Switch, if you play Virtua Racer, you can actually play with 8 players locally. Would you want to? Not more than novelty, to be honest. Virtua Racer is definitely a game of its time. For something like this would be so much fun. Man, I love the F-Zero games. Can you see how speed I'm going? I'm actually doing surprisingly well. Oh, I did surprisingly well there. I wasn't even paying attention. I was too busy yapping. But yeah, I quite like that track. That track's pretty cool. Great to feel that sense of speed. And again, it's a good length as well. Somewhere between 2 and 3 minutes is my ideal length. Again, as I said, it doesn't feel too long, but it doesn't feel too short either. So on to the next race. This one is really cool. It's actually a bit tricky, especially with those anti-gravity then. It's not Mario Kart. Flying segments. So I have actually practiced it a little bit. So I have a rough idea of how to do these fast. It's interesting how like you can see like some of the skulls there. Apparently you can actually just straight up die as well, like in F-Zero. Like that was such a weird mechanic when I first played F-Zero X. It's like if like you got a friend or something who's not particularly good at the game, they just straight up die. It's not even like they respawn, they just die. That's it, they're out. I guess it's pretty similar to real life. Oh, okay, this corner's like one of the hardest ones. Ooh, okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad actually. That corner is really hard to control. There we go. Okay, we're 14th, man. We need to catch up. There we go. So I like to go down on the bottom one there because it's easier to see where I'm going and not get stuck in the crowd. Oh, I've run out of boost. That's not good. Ah, no. Ah, okay. Here we go. We got boost here. We're doing all right here. No. Oh, okay. I definitely lost some momentum there. Come on. First place. Awesome. Ah, it's so easy to accidentally hit the actual ring of it, thinking that you can go over it or something. Okay, can we maintain this now? Come on. Yes. Okay, first place. Last time I played this, I think I was ended up like 25th or something stupid because I crashed a bunch of times. Yeah, so that is definitely one of my more favourite tracks, just because of the fact it's a bit different. The fact that you can fly and you have to move it as I said in the 3D space, that is definitely something different and not in the game that is heavily inspired by. This is probably my favourite one just because of how you move around the cylinder and how weird it feels to actually play something like this as you're about to see. And because of the way they've placed the boost pads, it means you actually have to move around the entire thing. But they've done it in such a way that it doesn't feel that disorientating. I'm not someone who gets particularly like motion sick. Oh, okay. But I can imagine if you are motion sick, this might be quite a difficult stage to play, unfortunately. I still love these kind of stages just because it's something you don't see in most racing games for obvious reasons. But in a game like this, it just works so well. No, no, get the boost. Ah, okay, I missed the boost. I'm 5th, so that is better than last time, I think. See, that boost over there is really hard to get. I'm getting very close to first place. There we go, now I am first. Now the main thing is to maintain first place. And not do that, for example. Ah, there we go. We've got the boost there and the boost there. Got to try and use my boost sparingly. There we go. They don't throw at you nearly as much as F-Zero X does. Okay, we are all first place so far, which is actually quite impressive for me. I am on the easiest difficulty, but shut up. So we're on the final track. I've not played this track yet, actually. So this looks so cool. Bro's playing on Mustafa. Once when I went like 24th, I actually ended up 6th. So I think what's really cool is that it balances it. So basically the higher place you are, the further back you start. Which I think is pretty fair actually. It gives people who are bad at the game more leeway. And people who are great at the game gives them a penalty for being too good. As you can see, maybe I could do with not having the penalty at the moment. Because I'm quite far behind. Because this is the first time I've played this map. Definitely more boost is what I need. Just the speed you can get. The speed! Doing Jeremy Clarkson now. Speed! Oh yeah, I just wonder what the warning sign was for. But yeah, you could fall off the course, couldn't you? Ow, don't ram into the wall. That's bad. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to lose this one. Like, 100%. Oh, come on, man. How am I supposed to catch up? I only made like 1 or 2 mistakes, and that was it, apparently. Okay, well, I was literally last place. There we go. Okay, right. Well, definitely need some practice on that map, but that is a cool one. I still think my favourite one is the 4th one, though. But they're all such cool maps. It really looks like they've made every map, like, distinct and unique, and I love that. I mean, I still ended up 3rd somehow, so I'll take that. And there we are. So that's basically the whole game. But we do have a couple more modes. So what we'll do first is, do we even need to do single race? I might as well just show single race, I guess. Yeah, see, as you can see, single race is literally just the Grand Prix, but only one of the tracks, obviously. You know what single race is. Then we have time trials, which, so obviously this is the best mode for speedrunning. See what my time is. the end. There we go. So what time do they get there? 132, I have no idea if that's good or not, but I'll assume it's at least average. Okay, there's no leaderboard either. Finally, we have practice. Now, I think practice is actually probably my second favourite mode here, because there's actually something that's quite interesting that I haven't seen much in other practice modes. So, as you can see in the bottom corner there, obviously not only is there no timer, which is nice, but there's actually a save state and load state option. And I've never seen this. Is this just me? Is this in other games as well? But I've never seen this in any other game, which is incredibly handy for perfecting like a specific corner as I crash into the wall. So, for example, here, we'll do a save state. And let's say I flew off for whatever reason. Boom, load the save state. And we are back to where we were. It's a bit awkward to try and actually make the save state when you're going so quickly in a game like this. But if you have a specific corner that you struggle with, like that for example, you can just make the save state and reload. Ah, I crashed. Boom, reload, we're fine. Okay, let's try and do this corner. Nope, didn't do it right. Let's do it again. There we go, did it much better that time. So yeah, I really love that. And then also, you can also restore all your boost and restore all your health. Again, if you want to try a specific part, I wouldn't use those two as much, because obviously it's kind of cheating, but the save and reload is really handy for if you're trying to grind out a specific corner. You know people are going to speedrun this game, obviously. So overall, this game is just amazing. It's really well made, like quite a lot of these Steam Game Fest demos, actually. It is incredibly faithful to F-Zero X and like other similar games, maybe kind of Wipeout as well. Maybe there's like a bit of Wipeout in there. I can't remember exactly. I haven't played a ton of the Wipeout games, but it feels very F-Zero mainly, with probably a bit of Wipeout mixed in there. Just go download it. Go download it, go buy it, go play it, go do something, I don't know. Go watch one of my other videos. Bye.